Puffy invited me for weeks, asking me to come and teach him how to, wanted me to be his acting coach for a while. He wants to hang out with you next week. And I was like, for what? He's like, I think he's trying to fuck you.
I'm going to give it to you raw. Terrence, make sure that you don't get f***ed. Straight up. There's a lot of going on in the entertainment industry.
I didn't understand Terrence Howard.
That shit hurt my feelings, man.
Because how could you say all of that?
Puffy invited me to come and teach him how to, wanted me to be his acting coach for a while.
And not feel like crap about what happened to Byshere Gray.
So Puff did not go straight to Terrence Howard, because when he was looking at Terrence like this, Terrence wasn't giving no vibe. So what he did was he went to his personal assistant.
So here's the simple truth. If you take my words, my image, my ideas, and twist them to feed your fear and inflate your ego, if you profit off of my name while calling me a liar, then be prepared to stand behind your accusations.
In a recent interview with PBD Podcast, actor Terrence Howard speaks on Sean Diddy Combs making a sexual advance towards him after being hired as his acting coach.
Puffy invited me for weeks, asking me to come and teach him how to, wanted me to be his acting coach for a while. Go there and he's sitting around just looking. I'm like, okay, what's the material you want to work on? He's just looking at me. Then next thing you know, okay, hey, will you help me? I want to hear your music. So I come over there and I play the music. And he's sitting there just looking at me, like waiting. Okay. So then my assistant was like, he wants to hang out with you next week. And I was like, for what? He's like, I think he's trying to fuck you. That's what my assistant said. And I was like, oh, okay. Now I get it. So now no more communication. Now you know to be hands off with somebody. A number of producers coming to make the approach, and you threaten to punch them in the mouth, or threaten to knock their head off for talking to you or looking at you like you're a woman. When you approach a real man about his masculinity, you're going to get a real reaction back.
Jaguar Wright took to social media calling out Terrence Howard for outing Diddy, but had nothing to say to what happened to Empire actor Byshere Gray.
I didn't understand Terrence Howard.
That shit hurt my feelings, man.
Because how could you say all of that?
Puffy invited me to come and teach him how to, wanted me to be his acting coach for a while.
And not feel like crap about what happened to Byshere Gray.
He's surrounded by a whole lot of love, and all he has to do is add discipline, and he's going to be all right.
How can you have that much outrage for the system and how it works?
My assistant was like, he wants to hang out with you next week. And I was like, for what? He's like, I think he's trying to
But you don't have that outrage for Byshere. He played your TV son, and he was young enough to be your actual son in real life. Swat was 20 years younger than me. And I found out that she had been harassed by the same person that I had been harassed by. Made me feel like crap. But for me to not be able to take responsibility for the part that I played in saying nothing and letting it happen, just going along. The get along to go along gang, which is why I didn't understand Terrence Howard.
Diddy's former bodyguard Gene Deal takes to YouTube reacting to Terrence Howard outing Diddy. Gene breaks down how Diddy manipulates the assistants of these entertainers to get what he wants. In particular, using Terrence Howard's assistant to feel him out. Pause. No Diddy.
Terrence Howard came back and he said this, y'all. And this is what they do to get other people involved in their bullshit. Puff did it to Jennifer Lopez. Puff was so close to Jennifer Lopez's personal assistant that he used to do favors for her. Just to know what Jennifer was doing, she used to pass that information on to Puff. And Puff used to say to her, yo, if it wasn't for me, you understand, she would have fired you a long time ago, because she had did some shit and Jennifer was going to fire her. But Jennifer didn't fire her. She kept her on. So now Puff used that as a leverage. So Puff did not go straight to Terrence Howard, because when he was looking at Terrence like this, Terrence wasn't giving no vibe. So what he did was he went to his personal assistant. and tried to fill out what Terrence was about and probably what Terrence could, would, should, or maybe would do. Tried to fill that out. Shout out to MREC TV. We about to do this whole big show, and we gonna show y'all evidence.
Terrence Howard takes to his social media to address the people speaking on him outing Diddy and the Hollywood industry.
So here's the simple truth. If you take my words, my image, my ideas, and twist them to feed your fear and inflate your ego, if you profit off of my name while calling me a liar, then be prepared to stand behind your accusations. Because in the old world, men didn't hide behind anything. When they spoke against someone, they had to speak it with their whole being. And if you're going to speak against me, then use the same courage that it took for me to say those truths. Man to man, eye to eye, integrity and in truth. I've spent a lifetime earning the right to speak with the conviction about these truths that I speak. So if you want to tear that down, have the decency to come and say it directly to my face. And say it like a man. If you're going to talk about the geometry, have other geometries to argue against it. If you're going to talk about the supersymmetry, speak of other supersymmetries that would work against it. If you're going to talk about the white papers, provide your own white paper as an argument to argue against the equations or the conclusions. But we're going to do this respectfully, otherwise we'll end in a duel. And I mean a duel, real life duel, where only one person walks away. We can meet with guns, bottles, knives, or books and equations. But we're going to do this like men. So, get ready.
They're both bisexual. They do weird things in their house. And young men have left their house screaming to get away from them in their mentorship. Meek Mills. Byshere Gray. Left that house screaming. August the only one that stayed, and I guess he was really sick. He needed a dog.
Remember, Jaguar accused Will Smith's right-hand man, Charlie Mack, of taking Empire actor Yaz, a.k.a. Byshere Gray, get groomed at the Smiths' compound in Calabasas.
Father, sister, Jaguar, Wright. And I'm going to say this about that, is that we should all pray for the sister because she's a very, very ill person. I haven't seen Jag, again, maybe 10, 20, probably 10, 15, 20 years. Easily, I haven't seen her. So she said quite a few things about me. And I want to address a few of them. The first one was what did August Alsina, Meek Mill, and Byshere Gray have in common? And she said that I worked them to the Smith compound. Let me just say this. I've never met, talked to, or encountered August Alsina. He don't know me, I don't know him. Okay? The second thing, Meek has only ever been to Will's house when Will and Jada wasn't present. I was going there to pick up a car, and we was going to a show. Yaz has never been to Will and Jada's house. So, let's dispel that particular nonsense that she said.
Yeah. Sue me, Charlie. You know me, I ran with monsters. I know your sins too. More than you think I do. And then I hear about you got Yaz and everything all up back home now. Oh, now he back home. Now when I talked to his mama and asked her how he was and if he was still in jail, could I go pray with him? And she started lying to me, telling me that he was still in jail and she didn't know where he was and she wasn't allowed to speak to him. And I went to the Nation of Islam, hoping that somebody would be able to find her son, just to find out she was lying. Only reason she would have lied to me about something like that was if you told her to, Charlie. Just like you told her to lie about all of that shit in that book. Because Larry Loud was a good father to Yaz. And if anybody needs to help Yaz, it's Larry. It ain't you, Charlie. Because the only thing you do is help little boys and young black men into the Smith compound. And then they turn out, run around 2-3 days later screaming. You know, if your life was a movie, it would be The Vampire of Brooklyn. Except for you would be Kadeem Hardison. You'd be the ghoul. You the ghoul. Will Smith was always the star of your show. You the Kadeem Hardison of The Vampire of Brooklyn ass looking ass nigga, you. I can't wait for your shit to start rotting up and falling off while you waiting to get the crown and shit. You still ain't got that crown. Yeah, you the first out the limo. Yup, the help. The help is always the first out the limo. Take your ass back to Calabasas with the demons, if they'll have you. I can't believe you still in Philly after all this time. But keep enjoying all of the perks of being the ghoul. And the next time you want to have somebody try to balk what I'm saying or rebuff what I'm saying, make sure it ain't no lying Janice Dickinson ass nigga who will screw over his own sister to get ahead. Motherfucker. Oh. Like I said, this is it for me, and it's just all music from here. I just had to say that because I didn't know that the nigga was stupid enough. Somebody posted this shit a couple months ago. It came and went so fast I didn't even know. And I guess maybe people thought I was ignoring it. I'm a real Philly girl for real, yo. Merry Christmas and Happy Kwanzaa and Happy Hanukkah, Charlie, whichever fucking religion you are, whichever God will have you. Pick a God and pray. Because somebody gonna talk about why you was taking young black men over to the Smith house and they couldn't manage to stay. Who wouldn't want to be mentored by real Hollywood royalty? Why do they all run? And why were you always taking them there?
If you crave nature but still shop online, Night and Day Herbals is your dream come true. Discover premium herbal soaps, shampoos, and CBD products. All organic, all for you. Shop now at nightandayherbals.com.